All right. We are live. We are live. Good morning. Good morning. Check the stream. We got 12 minutes until we got to start looking for this trade setup here. We're doing it live. Testing, testing. Just get some things, last things set up. Checky, check, check. Everything working. Welcome, welcome. Good morning. Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on your place and time. So again, today, we're doing it live. We're testing this method once again. We have 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 break even. Seems to be working. Got 10 minutes left on this hour. First hour of London, there it is. Good morning, good morning. Yo, yo. All right. We'll see what we get today on this trade. 4 and 1 and 1 break even. Yesterday, drop, strength. That was the plan. It did it, especially in the pound yen. So very bullish overall. I'd be looking to buy dips today. We may even simply dip down here, for example, and get some strength and continue. That's almost behaving like it's a fib, because like the beginning of the week is here, and maybe you're drawing your fib from there, but from the look of it, yeah. That's how it behaves at 618, right? Yes. And that's a support either way. But there's a 618 overshoot off yesterday's low. If you include that, you see the way it's behaving there off that zone. So, again, maybe we pop down, see strength. But with this trade, it does what it does, right? As far as tells you what to do. We could be selling and then buying after. So who knows? Howdy. I got a good morning, sir, a yo, and howdy. Yeah, generally bullish against the dollar and the yen. Didn't quite get to that support. I always like if it does or even overshoots. And maybe even it goes lower. Where am I drawing this fib? I suppose from here. But, yeah, is there strength? Well, that's London open, so I would like some proper strength. That's not the London Open spike if I was going to say this is a long setup. And here's the actual low, which is not high volume. So London Open spike, you're always going to get that. And we didn't quite get the support. So I'd be looking for strength besides London Open. That's just something to point out here if you're looking doing analysis on this chart. You're saying, oh, we have high volume. What is it? Strength. It's always high volume that time of day, so it's a bit exaggerated. And I don't quite trust this as much as the rest of the time. Seven minutes left and we got our hour close. Maybe we're going to stay with these levels here. Good morning, good morning. See what we get today. News situation is okay, good. Oh, I like that we had that pound news early. We got it out of the way 2 hours ago. Good. We don't have to worry about it coming up. And it's not like it ran off and went crazy. It dropped and it's actually back at that price. And we have our little range here now. That's good. We got it out of the way. Later, of course, CPI. That is Canada. Okay, not US. Okay, Canada. But again, general analysis is we're in markup phase, so to speak. Someone was asking in the Discord, do I identify background, also known as phases? They work together, as in the Wyckoff phases. And yes, and now we would be in markup and reaccumulation. Reaccumulation is when you're pulling back, right, in a markup, in an uptrend. So that's certainly the phase we're in. If we saw climactic volume, we'd be in distribution, right? But we didn't. And we saw strength yesterday. Again, especially the yen pairs are really showing that reaccumulation activity. Looking to continue the trend. And these things could take their time coming down. You know how it goes. It could come down if it wants further. It's a matter of seeing where it sets up. Once we're, really into London session, I don't like going too early or, like I said, working off of a London open spike as my trade setup. If it wants to just be a perfect type of day, happens sometimes, not all the time, then I'll just be buying a low. And maybe the pound trade will give me the short on the way there. Who knows? Maybe the pound will get me long, and then I end up getting the move. So who knows? So I'm going to keep taking them here. Like I was saying yesterday, we were just doing it to do it. I didn't plan my risk and all that. But I should probably start doing that and be aware of what. Again, it's a side account. I'm not taking it so seriously. I just wanted to see if this trade was going to make money, whatever. But, yeah, I've been pretty consistent with my position size. And also we're talking about scaling out of losing positions. So maybe, it's a little harder to calculate because you don't really know. But you can certainly plan for max loss, which is, you get in the trade and it just quickly goes to your stop and you really don't have time to do anything. Worst case scenario. And with a small account like this, I would want to go bigger. I don't know what, 6%. What's 6%? That's $150 a trade, right? Yeah. It's high, but yeah, it's a small account. See what happens. Anyway. But that's worst case scenario. My mentor told me to look for immediate background. Like, I just answered that question. Who's your mentor? Good morning, good morning. Does he know you're here? What would he think? Yeah, we check background, we check phase, whatever you want to call it. We look at high volume points, we look at market structure. We identify where, what, and smart money's doing and in what direction, what they're doing and what they're not doing. Now we're in an uptrend that they did not take profit on to any big extent, and they're reaccumulating buying into down moves. That is our background, that is our phase, that is our thingamajig. No, sir, he doesn't know. Oh, gosh. I don't want to be a part of any, mentor triangle, love triangle here. Better make sure it's okay. Coming here talking about my mentor told me. It's all good. I am well, Mark. Welcome back. If you have a mentor, I don't know, you might want to deal with that. I'll stop. I don't even know. It's funny. I don't know. It's funny to come here and tell me who is your mentor? Does he have a YouTube channel? Sorry, I'm just being an ass. I'm just joking around. Can we get out of the range for a trade? Let's go. It is time. It is time. So again, we're testing this trade live. We got 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 break even, and we'll see what we get today. Want general analysis. That's what I just gave. If you can go back. Markup phase, reaccumulation. Let's see if we get our entry here. I'm looking to buy on strength besides this particular trade once we get past this. Little test trade. So if we're headed to the low, we shall see if it's a sell or a buy based on the reaction. What's up? What's up? If bottom of range zone hold, right? Yes. See if we go for the low here. That's the London open candle. There's our low. If we break below the bottom, that's the lowest price since that first London open bar. But yeah, like I said, we are in markup reaccumulation during a markup. Generally, besides this test trade we're doing live, but my general analysis for today is looking for the strength on down moves. If we pop it down a little further, I'm good with that. There are some nice areas to visit. I don't want to mark up the pound pairs until I'm kind of in this trade, but in these areas, if we dip down, we could end up with a sell, and then I'm looking to buy down there later. I would like to be buying here, ideally, if we get a sign of strength. Pound yen at the low. Almost. Closer to the US session when you see the true move up. Yep, it is usually. But the volume for the true move usually prints and Hamburg open usually. Yep, which is why this seems to be fitting in. And maybe there's a correlation between good trades and going against the background, meaning it all makes sense by what you're saying. You know, it's logical. It doesn't mean the market does this every day, but again, if we're looking to buy low, maybe this setup giving a short is the better option at this earlier time. Like when we've seen long entries, we've taken longs, and then we end up getting out on weakness. You see the climactic when the short sets up or whatever. So that seems to be the story in the testing so far, that it gets, it gets you the trade to go to the place that you want to go for the day and get the trade in the opposite direction. That's what we've seen in our limited testing so far. It could be a thing going on here. Mr. Rob, yes. Let's take a look what happened. I don't want to miss this. Let's see real quick. So 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. There's the 9 open. Moved up. There's the high. And then you get 10 is here. I'm not missing it, am I? I got to check. Okay. Oh, we're getting close, man. All right, we'll get back to that, Rob. Get back to that. Looking for the 5 minute to close. First potential entry here, the short if we close down. Well, we got a few minutes to wait. Let me see if I can squeeze in looking at this real quick. What is it? So there's the 10 o'clock. So there's the range. Okay. Right. I have that right, I think. 9. There's the low, right, and there's the high. Okay, so this would be the break. That's a iffy because it has a bit of extra volume on it. This one doesn't. That starts to look better. We could talk about that. Like, what if it does this and then this? If you took that entry, it moved 20 pips. Once, twice, 15, 20, and then kind of just sat around. Yeah, it's one of those manage it. Depends how you managed it. Nothing big. Shouldn't be a loss, that's for sure. Should not be a loss. Maybe a bit of something, or maybe just break even. But plenty of opportunity to get out and say, It tried a couple of times and just came back. All right, let's see what we get on this close for the potential trade. What are you guys talking about? I'm not even keeping up at this point. I like the simplicity of this right now. 2 minutes on this. Let's see where it closes. Okay. Let's see. The volume is not high, and we don't have that much time left, so that's good. We might get the low volume break. 1 minute showing no issue with high volume into that low price area. Did they both break? No, just the pound yen so far. Okay. Let's see what we get. I got to watch out for the time changes because this is time based. And the US and the UK don't change at the same time. It's like a week apart. So like London Open becomes 4 a.m. for like 1 week. I have to look out for that. Sometimes I forget. Pound yen is outside the range. Pound dollar is not. So let's see where this closes. So potentially the pound yen short. And we're talking about a 5-minute swing for the stop. Yeah, that's confirmed. So I'm just going to go in my usual size and like deal with the stop loss. I guess 20, 35 pip stop puts me here. Again, this 5-minute swing is kind of like, what do we got? What are we working with? This is huge up here. And it's just, maybe we should be talking about further up on the other side of the range if you get into that situation. But anyway, I'm getting into the pound yen here. It would jump down as I got in. That wasn't me, was it? Not on this little account. So I'm in the pound yen short. I'm in that trade. That confirmed. And now I'm throwing a 35 pip stop in immediately just to get it in there. But again, we have a situation with the stop loss where that 5-minute swing that we're looking for to put the stop, it's not really there. We just have this sort of big, you know, how many pips is that on the pound yen? If you enter at 20, that's like a 70 pip stop, 60 pip stop to get it behind this swing. So again, that's why we're testing these things live. What do we do with that, right? I think the logical thing is to put it in this area of the range. If we're all the way up here, I'm considering this breakout not working, right? But I mean, it could make lower lows and lower highs and continue down. See what happens. Did the pound dollar technically confirm? It technically did. Okay. No rush. Hourly? No, I'm not looking at that right now for this trade. This is a self-contained trade. It doesn't rely on that. My other trading is based on background, and this is a self-contained thing. Sorry, I can't keep up with the chat. It's fine that you type all you want, but I'm not going to be able to. Now, the pound dollar technically closed out of the range. I can take it if I want. But hey, if it's a fake break pattern, maybe I won't. So for now, I just have the pound yen position on this close. No rush. If it's moving up, I'm not missing anything. I don't have to get into the pound dollar. So only one, half of the risk, so to speak, since it's only one trade out of the two. Normally, they both set up. So that's cool. Let's see what we get from here. So again, this trade is something I made a video recently to explain the rules of the trade. That's what we're going by, which is a bit different from the rest of my method. So if you're just getting caught up, that's what we're doing. We got 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 break even. And we'll see what we get today. So I only took the pound yen, did not take the pound dollar. Again, it's the close below says you can, but if it's creating a fake break, then I don't need to. I can have half as much risk and give it a second, give it a chance. Is it a fake break or a real fake break? Fake real break or real fake break? That's not something typical where you're going to get into new low ground, not see any volume increase, and then see volume increase. Like you broke out, the volume's flat, and then, just a bit lower. That's where we hit activity. Typically, if buyers are there, they're going to be there into the new low ground, or even right up support, but especially. So again, I have the option of getting in the pound dollar while it's in a bullish pattern of a fake breakout of support. I just won't do anything. Maybe if we close again down below, I can consider it. So it's technically confirmed, but going back into range, I'm holding off for the moment. Just have the pound yen on. Here's the trade. The stop loss is at 4.8. What do I want to do with that? That's something to settle on, When the 5-minute swing is just too far away, it's 80 pips. We have dealt with that a couple of times. What to do on the stop? If you look at the range, roughly the middle, maybe you just want to get past the middle. And generally, I don't know if you like trend lines. You can get it below it. You can get it above a trend line. I don't really use trend lines. But that's what I'll go with for the moment. 4.8 puts my stop. Oh, that's a little on the low side still. 4.8 is here. Oh, there's a 1-minute swing. I'm behind that. What's the 5-minute looking like? That swing is so far. A lot of times that swing is going to be like 30 pips on the pound yen, but a couple of times now we are dealing with that. Of course, it's going to happen. Way too big to put it up there. Or you could go really small position, I guess, and put it up there. A couple of options. Putting it halfway, or just above halfway, puts the stop at 60, 168.60, which I could do for the moment, just because I don't have the pound dollar on. I have one out of the 2 positions on. Let's do that. Try to follow some sort of sense on the stop loss placement. See what the pound dollar wants to do. What are you guys talking about? Not this trade. It's too simple to talk about. It is what it is. General analysis, I suppose. Okay. So we end up with high volume after. That's not something we've experienced yet on this setup. Breaking out and then seeing the high volume on that second candle. Not something we've dealt with. Typically, like you see here, you'll get high volume off the low price. But in this case, we got the low price into new low ground. Flat, and then hit the volume and created a fake break. Sort of. Break test continuation, perhaps. See where this closes. But another bit of variation today we haven't seen to get the break and then this. Let's see what we want to do with it. Staying below this level really says do nothing with the trade, let it do its thing. If we end up with a fake break bullish pattern and there's some volume behind it, right, we may want to manage it, trim it down. All right, we're not back in range on a close yet, so that's good. Have not taken this yet. Like I say about this trade, it's the dumb trade compared to how I usually trade, considering background and a little more complexity on the setups, a little more nuance. But if it works, it works. So far, so good. So maybe we end up with a break test continuation. Maybe I get in GU. There is a concern about stop and how big that is and risk. Well, maybe I don't get the GU. Let's see. Yeah. I could just take the one trade today. Let's see. Being cautious on that volume and potentially rejection and only taking one, that might be sensible. I don't want to chase GU and get like a worse price than I was supposed to. That was the entry, as I said. I'll let that go for now. I'll just go with the pound yen. It got a little hairy, not a perfect situation, so I don't mind the one trade instead of the two in this situation where we did run into some volume trying to get out and almost had a situation of a fake break with volume. So not the cleanest thing in the world, but now obviously the break test continuation is happening, and then if we don't see strength here, we're looking good. So that's my decision with this situation, is to just take the pound yen and pass on the pound dollar. Again, it's a side account, but I'm treating it like, well, what I really do, you know. I'm not in profit. Jeez. Yeah, when I got in, it like dropped right here. So I got in here. Plus spread. Now I should be in profit. There it goes. Barely. Okay. As far as targets, yeah, there's a big old fib down there. Hopefully we get to like 70 pips away. So plenty of room. If we just hit this low on this trade, 168.10. So yeah, there's like 50 pips more room just till we get to a support 50 fib. So maybe about plus 50 on the trade to get to that point. We'll see how it behaves, manage it. Maybe it'll go to 618. Just looking out for any issue with buyers. There's a bit of demand. It's not like falling off a cliff like we sometimes see. Maybe another test continuation we got to deal with. So a little bit of variation today on the setup and dealing with it, the stop loss, and seeing some volume as we tried to move out and almost did a bullish pattern there. So only taking one out of the two trades to me makes sense. I'm always just thinking about risk, risk, risk. Reward is already built in, whatever. And it's already a bit bigger because we have a bigger stop on the one position. So thinking about risk, I'll stick with this. If I were to take this trade, I don't know why it feels like chasing price. It's absolutely an insane trade. It's something I would never do. I find myself getting into positions that I would never get in, and therefore I now have to manage these things in situations I would not normally get in. It totally has nothing to do with the background. The analysis going in has nothing to do with the way I normally trade. So just to clarify that. Like what people think about this trade, yeah, I think the same thing, but guess what? It works. I was not planning on selling today, but if we write it down and then get the long, whatever. But yeah, just if people are like critiquing the trade, like I don't even think that much on this particular trade. I'm not even thinking beyond the simple entry rules because that's what's been doing it. Once I'm in this trade, then I'm thinking about the rest. Where is it going? Where was I planning on buying today? And how this can all fit together. Of course it feels wrong. Of course it feels like chasing. I hate taking breakouts. I don't sell low hoping for new ground on a trend. I never do this stuff. But this appeared on the chart. I know other people have taken this trade, variations of this, and like this sort of thing. It does exist where your time-based levels break or fake break. And I started backtesting it and seeing that it works. And there's logic to it. Not to get all into it now, but there's logic to it. When you have the London Open, then you have sort of the result of all that activity. So just to repeat that. Of course, it's a ridiculous trade. I would never be selling down here. 9 times out of 10, you're seeing profit pretty quick on these things. All right, 8 times out of 10, right? But we're testing it. 4 wins, 1 loss, 1 break even. Let's see what we get today. I passed on the pound dollar. They're likely going to correlate, obviously. If you were a patterns person, selling on the support of the 1-hour triangle forming might not be too appealing. I'm sure there's all kinds of technical analysis that says don't take this trade, especially including the 4 wins, including the one that went to 115 pips with no drawdown. I'm sure there was all kinds of reasons why we shouldn't take that trade. Including that 115 pip runner with no drawdown. It's totally wrong. It's absolutely wrong. Terrible profitable trades. They're just bad profitable trades. Go figure. Absolutely awful. Let's get it. I grew my account 25, 30% testing this trade. It's absolute shit. Let's get it. It's funny. But yeah, testing this trade on this account. I played around with some small stuff, but mainly I have not been trading this account besides just doing the test, so I could really see and track it and do some money where you're doing something where you could see it grow or work or not, but not risking so much that you're really worried about it. And can't argue with it. I should include this in the courses. How about I put it at the end? Now that you've learned all that, in the 14th hour of my course, or 15th hour, or whatever I go, okay, so now that you've learned all that, there's also this, if you just want to not do that. I could show you something else. It'll take me 10 minutes. You could try that instead. Good luck. Oh, man, why'd you tell me this in the beginning? Oh, that's funny. Again, it almost seems like too easy and too stupid to work. That's why I figured it was fun to just test it live. If it doesn't work out in the long run, whatever. It wasn't a bad idea. It started off damn good, that's for sure. We'll see where it goes. It wasn't until the 6th trade that we had a loss, right? Or the 5th, or something like that. So we see if it runs down to fib, we get 50 pips on it. And right now, there's nothing to do. There's no reason to manage it. Stop is at 60. Man, I got a terrible price because it was dropped right here when I got in. Whatever. I mean, it's a 8 pip difference or something from where I should have been in. Plus spread, then 10, 11 pip difference. All right, give it time. If we see high volume into down moves, which we've seen to some extent here, that's the information we don't want to see. So it's not the cleanest thing in the world. Let's see what it does. If we can finally continue to move down on some sort of flat volume, that's the better information. You see a little spiky on the 1 minute there. Not the cleanest breakout right now. It seems, especially when we look at the winners and how it works in the story of the day, it seems very simply like, normally however you trade, you're normally looking for price to go somewhere so you can get your trade. You're trading off support resistance or pullbacks on trends or whatever. Right? You're looking for price to go somewhere so you could get your setup. This tends to get you that move to that place earlier in the session. That's where it seems to be fitting in. But when I started testing this live, I didn't think it was going to be these big runners that we were going to get. I didn't know how good, it had potential, like I said. Let's see. And again, let's see, right? You got to trade it longer to really find out. Obviously, it has potential, but let's see over a longer term. We really want to stay below that. That's still the initial level that we worked off of. If we're staying below it, it's really maintaining a breakout. If we get back in, we're running into choppy sloppy. Pound dollar did go back in. I did not take that. That did go back into range. I mean, that just says something about the move generally, that it is obviously struggling to really break out. Need the buyers to chill out, wait for the lower prices. Two to 3 months? I don't even think that far ahead. I'm thinking 2 to 3 days. I'm thinking, what am I doing this week? As far as that, yeah. All I know is I'm looking to buy dips right now on the dollar pairs. weakness on the US dollar this week. Are we coming back? How many pips are we down? 16, 15. We get up here, I'm looking at like 20. I could just close it if it's not going. We're seeing some strength, and we come back into range. We completely failed this breakout. We tried twice. Break test. We got to stay below here, or else we're just seeing sloppiness. Could have the break test continue. It could have been nice. Break test continuation. But if we come back, it's going to shit. But this is good. We do it live and see all these different situations we get into, at least how I deal with it. So I'm not going to like that if we end up there. And I won't be down that many pips, and I could see what I want to do as far as taking some off, limit risk, listen to the chart. This guy, huh? It's going to close back into range. Maybe. Wow. Struggling. There it is. Pound dollar. We'll see if the pound yen can hold down here. But that's something as far as management of the trade. Obviously, if you're taking a breakout, once you really attempt it to start to move, which we have, if we end up back above that, that's a good marker that you're losing probability on the trade. So I could just close half of it here at whatever that is, 20-something pips. It's all about limiting the losses and trying to ride out the winners. We've seen the riding out. Now we got to do the limiting. See if we can hold out to the close and we don't go up too far while we wait. But simply put, seeing that old support act as resistance, I think, is important in this, in maintaining the probability. So potentially to help it stay down and keep us in this, or me at least. I don't know if you took it. We got the support, turn resistance, hopefully going to hold it. 14 EMA, hopefully going to hold it. Trying one last time to reject the support, turn resistance. If it doesn't work this time, right, then it's not looking good. Let's go. You can convince me now that we're doing this. And let's not go back into the old range. kind of feels like now or never. Maybe that's a little overdoing it, but let's go. What are you going to hang around here for another 30 minutes? Something's going to happen either way. Let's go down. Let's do it. We're trying. It's exactly off of that. It's like ignoring all this shit, and it's the line we originally had drawn. So it kind of tells you, yeah, it is a good marker. Let's stay below that. It just feels like these buyers are a little too excited. We want them to be buying lower, but they're a little too active. Get an up move on the dollar, yen. That'll help. Indexes. Well, there's a close and we're hanging on. Okay. Break, test, break, test, break. Something or other. Hanging on. It's turning into the wimpiest breakout I've ever seen. What a wimpy breakout. Don't be so wimpy. And we're getting the 14 EMA pulled down, so we got a little protection here. If it gets through that, then it's not looking good, and I shall manage my drawdown, my risk. So we have a clear-cut area we want to stay below. These two things, sometimes we overshoot a bit. Let's see what price is this. 40. It'll clear all that. If it goes to 40, it's not looking good. That's like a 27 pip stop or something. I don't know. Which is not bad. As far as limiting risk. Where's the stop loss now? Now it is big because I would plan to be closing some before that. Right now it's at 60 because getting it on the other side of this line of the middle of the range, because the other swing is like 70, 80 pips. So that was too much. But realistically, like I was saying, even though the stop's here at 60, 168.60, this is the area I want to see hold. Otherwise, so that's if it all goes to shit and spikes up or something. So beyond here is where it starts to break down. So either this is limited, it gets squashed and we move on, or I could close it. Or I could close half, If I could hold out to the 5-minute close, yeah, we're almost there. What a wimpy breakout that was. So the stop is like 30 pips now? Okay. So I'm trying to hold out for this close, because you could get squashed down and then we just move on down, but we're almost there. Where'd my chat window go? It's gone. Oh, here it is. Patience? Yes, but also controlling risk. There's the close. Let's see what I want to do with this. I don't like that. That's the pattern breaking down. Let's see what we could do managing this. Luckily, I only took one of the two positions here, so let's see. So I will probably close half. What do we got? 28 pips. I have the window open to close half this position if we break the high of this bar. So this is how I'm managing the drawdown here. If we break above this high, I'm closing half of the trade. Because I was about to do it on this close, and now I'm seeing this. I'm giving it a last chance, right? But if we pop up to 4.2-ish, then yeah. And what did the pound dollar do? It's just sloppy choppy. We ran into a little more strength than we wanted to see. End up back in the range. I'll give it this chance. But I'm prepared to close half the trade above the high of this bar. Just to be clear, that's what I'm doing. Keeping the risk in check. How many times I got out of a good trade, I can't recall. Yeah, but how many times you closed a loss that kept going against you after you got out? So who the hell knows? All you can do is read the chart at the moment, I guess, and work off the information you got. And whatever risk you're willing to take. All right, so I still have my original position on. We failed and did a fake break bullish pattern. Therefore, I will be closing half if we get above the high here, giving it a last chance. And we'll otherwise start trimming down the risk of the position. That would be like negative $17 if I close it here. That is trying to control the risk. And then if the rest obviously goes to here, right, we limit what the loss would have been if we just let the whole thing go there. If it ends up a winner, then so be it. You make less. It's sloppy, choppy crap, though, right? So be it. That's how I'm dealing with it. Again, I'm trying to manage this like if it was my real account. So just focusing on the risk and the pip count. But I would close this manually here. I have the window open on my phone if it does pop above that 42 level. Hanging on. We're hanging on. Wants to try again? Okay. Real break, fake break, real break. What are we down? 19 pips, 20 pips, nothing terrible. See, the thing that happened today was that volume, again, was low on the initial break, and it even closed at the low. And then all of a sudden, we got the highest volume since the open volume, rejecting just below that. That's just a pain in the butt. Normally, as we've seen, right, we've entered this and we don't really run into any strength until, another leg down. So that's what we got today on that. And again, a bit of activity. These 2 points showing some buying is what messed things up a bit. It doesn't know if it wants to break or fake break or what it's doing. If it was larger buying, it would be a little simpler. We just move up. Let's see. All about limiting the risk, surviving with a small acceptable loss, and moving on. If it's a winning strategy, so be it. All right, so if we pop up above here, yeah, this thing is just not doing anything. It goes chop, chop back into range. Bullish pattern. It rejected that level again. Man, this is way too much work for this little account. It's way too much work. Gotta test it, though. I gotta test it for real. Do what I would do. Doing it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live. Fucking thing sucks. Waiting for me to move my stop. Ugh, I'm not doing that. I'm not a stop mover. I do the opposite. I get out sooner. Okay, so yeah, if it pops above here, it's just sitting right at 4.2. It's right at this level. Yeah. It's really doing that, huh? All right, let me see. I was gonna close. It keeps coming back. Got my finger on the button to close half the trade. Well, it's rejecting again. It's way too much work for this account. It rejected again. Maybe if we put a line, it'll really just go. There we go. But here was the level. I wanted to close half the trade right above. It pops up, and then before I even do anything, we're down here again. Okay. Choppiest, sloppiest breakout ever in the history of breakouts. Or whatever it is. Whatever it ends up doing. Fake break. Exactly. Okay. Still in this. Haven't closed any for a loss yet. Let's see. We're good. I don't know. I'm just kidding. We are not. We're in the weeds. Let's go. Real breakout. Fake breakout. Real breakout. Fake breakout. We've seen a couple of these that were just so clean, and this is the reality of it, right? Reality check. Sometimes that. Oh gosh, the spam is back. That's my side business. My Tinder hot best adult dating site. Yeah, who's gonna delete that? I mean, who's gonna? It says deleted. Good. Who's gonna click on that? In a freaking YouTube chat, you're gonna click on some spam. You can't block spam. Well, the thing is, I block, and then it's like they have endless accounts. So I just blocked that account. Yeah, I did. That's like the fifth account I've blocked. They keep coming back. It's like bots make the account, you know? I don't know. So I just blocked them, and now it'll come back. Yeah, I think bots are actually making the account, or at least, you know, there's many of them. We actually hung on to this thing? All right. Whatever you say, chart. Whatever you say, pound yen. You're the boss. All right, whatever you want. You want to go down, you want to go up, you want to go nowhere. Well, we're making lower lows and lower highs, but we also have a fake break. Bearish and bullish pattern. Yeah, I haven't closed any of the trade. Correct. If I do, I'll be clear and say I closed half. Yeah. Like I said, I was just about to do it here. It pops up. And a second later, it's down, down, down. So, okay. I haven't closed any. That's the original position size there. Hang in there? Okay. Are you going to pay me back if I lose? It's like it wanted to break out, then it wanted to fake break, and now it doesn't want to decide. The activity dropped, and we're sitting right on the line. I mean, it's a decent rejection, but we don't have like selling supply coming in. If we saw weakness here, for example, that would help. Didn't see it. 1 minute chart. No, it's not there. God, look at this thing. It's so back and forth. Come on, the indicators are all red. I mean, doesn't it have to go down? Isn't that how it works? Red dot and then a red line, and then this thing's red, plus that's really red, big. Somebody tell the pound yen that my indicators are red, please. Because that's how it works. We need a red volume. I mean, meanwhile, this trade aside, I'm looking to buy low today off strength. I would like to see it go lower just so we can get a high volume pop in strength. Some of these levels that are good probability to look for that. That stuff. So like either way, I would like to go down. Just like we did yesterday. Fake break there. Come on down. Go lower. We want to buy low. Euro dollar. Got our zone there. It's like that one leg down in strength would be nice. Support stopped it. Fake break at least, right? Pop in there real quick. Get bought up. So for my general normal trading, that's what I'm looking for. Anyone got a stick? Can you poke it? Do something. Come on, pound yen, you're boring us. He's going to try again. Going on 25 minutes of this tiny range. Exciting. Again, trying and failing in this tiny range. What a choppy, sloppy second hour of London today, starting here. Going places and can't continue. Coming back. All right, again here. I'll close half my position. Let me get doing this on my phone on the app. It tends to freeze. I got to restart it. Again, looking to close half if it does that. Higher high there. Trade again. Buy. I could even close the whole thing. Look at this garbage. All right, I'm closing half, so I did that. There it is. I closed half the trade. I'm trying to figure out what the heck it was. $28. Okay. So I did close half. Limiting risk. Better than the whole thing hitting stop. And now the rest of the stop. What was it at? 60. And that would be about $40 on this account. What a choppy, sloppy second hour we got. So like I said, I closed half here, and now my stop is at 60. Managing it well, like I actually will, if this continues to be profitable. So now we got 4 wins, 2 loss, and a break even. Well, unless this runs. Hey, I'm still in it. Let's see. How many pips was that? I don't know. End up break even if we go to, if price goes here, we end up break even. If it goes here, you get some profit. Got some volume. We'll see the reaction. Way too much work for a small account, but hey, I want to test it and trade it for real. There you go. Still got a few $100 profit or whatever it was. My starting balance, 21 or whatever. See what happens off this volume. Last chance to stay in it. Otherwise, stop is at 60. It'll just hit. And here comes the spam. Perfect. Meanwhile, this trade aside, it's either going to hit 60 as my stop loss or it comes back, and we'll see if we end up break even or a bit of profit. But this trade aside, yeah, it's a choppy, sloppy start. Well, at least on the pound I've been focusing on. But again, with the bullish background and seeing strength to some extent, not huge volume, but we did see it after the entry a bit. And then just this kind of sitting around. Maybe this is coming in as weakness with a bearish reaction result. But it's a choppy, sloppy start. But going back to the original plan, again, it's still, if we can get lower today, that's the ideal spot to see strength. Look for the long entry. We're not far from some of these areas. Again, it's a timing thing. It could typically happen a little later. But not an exciting start there. So looking at that, oops, wrong pair, that. What was the original level? 4.2. Going back to what we started with, why are there 2 lines there? Yeah. That was the short entry. And looking back on that, and now what we have, and the fake break here, and then this pop, I think it does make sense by this point in things to have half the position closed and limit that loss. I do think that's the best way to deal with it. Because like I said, if it becomes a loss and hits the rest, it's a smaller loss than it would have been, limiting risk. If it continues down, then there's a chance to get out break even, make it a break even day, or maybe get some, small profit. Because again, as we know, once we came back above here, we started to lose some probability. So that's pretty straightforward. I mean, there's some, discretion where exactly you would close half in here, but it's the idea of coming back above and seeing a 5-minute close above that support that you broke to get in. And just the whole pattern goes to shit here. The best breakouts are, just going to give you the break, test, and continuation. We did see that in one of the trades very cleanly. This one, it's testing and it just couldn't go. But as far as managing, I think that makes sense. We'll see how this ends up. Still got a chance. But yeah, then you start thinking, okay, so maybe on the losing days, there's some reason. Maybe there's something you can pinpoint, filter out. Monday was a winner. I was questioning if Mondays were good, and then this last Monday we tested it in the Discord. That was a runner. So, still seeing things, but it's like you'll think, well, we didn't want to sell this low anyway, and so on. But we've gotten a situation where we did get good running big wins, where it was like F the background, and we wouldn't be taking this trade, but we're testing the system, so we're taking it, and then it ends up being a big win. So I don't know if you can make the argument that, okay, this wasn't the greatest. I mean, is it a 50-50 thing? I don't know. I don't think so. But anyway, that's why we're testing. Figure these things out. Yes, it is a snooze fest of price action. I cannot make it any more exciting. It is what it is. Yep. So what is it? I wish this actually told me a pip count right here. That would be nice. Because having closed half, it changes my break-even spot. I think. Yeah, it does. I don't freaking know. Oh, okay. That pretty much tells me. So if okay. So it's about plus 33 pips. Okay, yeah. Would be, if you close this trade on a leg down at plus 33, give or take, then it ends up a break-even trade in the end. I just wanted to figure out what that was, which is right here. So at this point, if price comes down to this point, that's where it's back to break-even on the account. Okay. And maybe it does run into fib and get a bit of profit. Small profit day. Still possible. And I wouldn't look back and say, oh, I should have held it, this is nonsense, and if I end up break even or profitable at the end of this, a little bit of profit, that'll be a good result considering the crap that happened. All right. Considering the crap that happened on the chart, if we get out for break even or some profit, I will consider it good trade management. But like I said, testing this live, I didn't think it would be such a lesson in fucking trade management and how I do it, at least. But that's all there is once you get in. When to close, when to hold. Thinking about risk. And at what point, you want to trim that down and stuff. That's a good example of how I deal with things, too, besides just testing this, if you're new. At least how I do it is how I say. Because I don't say I'm the best. I just say that's how I do it. A chance at break even today, chance at a little bit of profit, okay. On this trade. Meanwhile, if we do get down here, hallelujah. Hopefully it gives a long setup. Take that on, my regular risk, regular account. One more pop down could really bring that together today. I'm technically reading the chart just to have something to talk about. This volume here is a bit on the higher side, and it's into new high ground with a bearish reaction. So this is weakness. If this volume was higher, right, the higher the better, then we'd really be saying, okay, we're coming down. But at least that's the first piece of good information that we've gotten on this trade since we got in. This little volume increase, something good happened, and a bearish reaction on a little fake break pattern, which is also probably a 618 overshoot of a little fib. So that's our first piece of good information. We know that pattern is bearish. Would have been nice to have more volume on it, but at least it's good information. Jeez. Now watch it sit here for another hour, right? Can we go? But again, that's something new in dealing with this trade and trade management, and seeing maybe having closed half, and then seeing we can get to the point where the account is back to break even, right? We're in profit on this, roughly in this level, the same that it was the loss on the first half, so you get back to break even. And what do? Do we say, okay, we're happy to be back at break even? Do we get out? Or do we look at the chart? And if it says it's all good, we let it go and run lower. No regrets decision, whatever that would be. Listening to the chart. It's probably the best. Always the best. Whatever the chart says. When there's any sign of trouble, strength coming in on a high volume while we're back at break even for the day, right? Get out. Move on. Call it a break even day. That's my thinking on that. Trade management, listening to the chart, limiting risk. There would definitely be something wrong if we had 4 wins, 2 losses, and all the gains were gone. That would be bad management. If that's happening to you, you're doing something wrong, right? 4 wins, 2 losses, and you've lost all the profit, you're doing something wrong. Unless you have a 98% win ratio, then go ahead. Are we back in the chop? Now we're going to get stuck. Mind-numbing price action. Snooze fest, as Rob said. There you go. Been in this range for... Why is I'm all laggy. There we go. Going on 40 minutes. Well, we got some lower prices with less volume. We got some higher prices with more volume. So in this little crap, pile of crap, price action stuff, it's pointing down. Is it really trustworthy? It looks like it doesn't really want to do anything. It's just quiet. Seems more likely to try to test the low than try to break out to the upside from this point based on that. More likely to go to the low. Or just be a snooze fest still. Oh, part of the gaps. Yep. We're seeing every kind of outcome if we keep testing this. We're seeing everything possible. This is the sloppy, choppy ass BS. Market doesn't know what it wants. It hasn't gone anywhere in an hour and a half. This was an hour and a half ago. Where it's like, oh, we're breaking or we're not or whatever. Yeah, hour and a half later, you're at the same price. So there's an example of that. But again, as we move down and dealing with this different situation of closing half and then see if it runs anyway and all that, we haven't seen that yet. So we'll see how to deal with that if that's the case. Listen to the chart. Eurodollar breaking down. Okay, good. Yeah. Good. As far as my regular main method, that's where I'd like to be buying if the chart is going to be so kind and give a long setup. At least, I was saying, at least let's get below this level. See a bunch of demand on a fake break. But if we can get down here, that's good too. Probably see a ton of buying in this area. If not, that tells you don't go long, don't take the trade. But most likely, if we can get here, we'll see a ton of buying. So that's good. Let's get there. That's really the trade of the day if it sets up. I'm hoping for. And of course, the deal is it's going to hit stops on long positions. All these late longs through here. You had a whole day yesterday to get long. You had the chasing this up move into here. So you got all these long positions. Where would they possibly put their stop? If you were long through here, where would your stop be? First place you're going to look is right there. You put it below that low. Resistance turns support. So that's already hitting some. This is just going to be more the lower you go. Give smart money an opportunity to buy off of those sellers in large amounts. You know they want it. If see if we can get it. This guy. Will you move? Just when you think it's getting out of the chop. There goes the dollar index. Finally, new high ground. Yen is struggling, but there goes the dollar. Good. Yeah, sloppy, choppy start, but it all is good in the end if we come down, deal with this trade, limit loss, break even, maybe make something, and then look for those long entries low. Then it all works out as a perfect day still. But new low ground here is going to show us what's up with demand, and there's nothing exciting going on. So maybe we do go lower into the fib. Not seeing any strength really come in. But I think we're looking likely to get there if we're not seeing strength yet. Again, you know, when these things set up, could be later on. It's nice when you mark it early in the session and then hours later it sets up right where you had it marked. You know you're doing something right. All right, just hanging out, waiting for some action. If this moves down, we'll look at what it's doing. Pound yen, and generally, if things are moving down, that's good. We're looking at potential strength to buy. Didn't show up here. Maybe we go lower on these dollar pairs. Ugh. Still in this range. Now what is it going to do? Break to the upside? activity just like dropped down. It wants to stay low, right? Where's our volume points of high and low volume? It's just not doing anything. A fake break pattern, but volume's just like acting like it didn't even do it. Stop is at 60. Yeah, I'm good with that. Again, is that a wimpy sign of weakness? Would have been nice to see high volume rejection. It's higher than the previous, and they're all low. Such a slow start today. What was that? 11 5-minute candles that cover the same price area. Is it accumulation? The volume is very low. It's like nothing. Accumulation is, we would expect to see strength. We did see a little just off of that low. But if you look at the volume now, right, the past hour, hour and a half, and the range, right, technically it's reaccumulation of an uptrend, but what's going on right now is just nothing. But technically we're in reaccumulation of an uptrend and looking for that strength again, maybe lower, maybe into lower prices if it hasn't shown up yet. So with the markup uptrend, no climactic volume, seeing some strength there off fib, really shows reaccumulation phase here. But this right now is not really representing that. This is just the snooze fest. There you go. That's what it is. Snooze fest phase. Yeah, I mean, the dollar pair should be able to continue down from this point, so says the chart. Here's the dollar index just floating up with no issue. And again, here it's low volume and it's all just quiet, but to not see any increase in volume down here says we're going lower. And that's what we want. Want to buy low. Slug race. Going in circles on top of that. Yeah, I could end the stream and then hang out in the Discord if this comes down and managing it, looking to break even for the day situation, or limiting, cutting into that loss, or holding it, or what the chart says to do if we hang on. And then generally just looking for these down moves and signs of strength today that are more likely than not to happen in the situation, usually later in the day anyway. So yeah, the snooze fest continues. My stop's at 60 on this. Any management, maybe we'll just talk in the Discord and see what happens today on this opportunity. But just to show, I have very simple fibs there, supports, fake breaks, fibs, all that, and strength coming in. We did dip down here, but we didn't see the strength. Therefore, we may go lower here. So that's what I'm looking for. Yeah, let's talk on the Discord. This is just too slow. It's like I want to do something else while I wait. It's too slow right now. Even here, again, that applies to all the dollar pairs, where any sort of down move in strength is the opportunity. All right, yeah, let's do that. So if you're not in the Discord, go join it. And I'll continue to watch things and give updates in there. So we'll see how this turns out today. And I should be back tomorrow. I do plan to. We'll see. Most likely. See where we end up for the week on this trade. We're testing it, right? Let's see where we end up. Cheers, cheers. All right, see you in the Discord. Or see you tomorrow. Have a good one.